So believe it or not, the right just got a victory now. Texas passed a law that, as far as I understand, at least according to Argent, would reduce abortions by at minimum of 85%. And the Supreme Court, because of the fact that the court's been stacked with Trump-appointed judges, has upheld the law. And I could not be more happy. As far as I understand, as a result of this decision, effectively 85% of abortions that would have happened in the state of Texas are not going to happen, which is good. I could not be more happier. It's not the ideal. The ideal should be that we should criminalize abortion nationwide. But you know what? I'll take it. I'm happy that the state of Texas is no longer going to allow psychotic mothers to murder their children. You know, I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts on this ruling in Texas regarding abortion off my chest as quickly as possible, which is why I'm making the mistake of not scripting this. So, I probably said this before in, like, the 9 values test that I did a few years ago, but I'm pro-life. And if you're pro-life, this is a victory. And most people on the right, with some exceptions of like certain people on the internet who will make kind of like eugenics arguments for being pro-choice. With those people being the exception, most people on the right are pro-life. And if you're pro-life, if you want abortion criminalized, except in sort of like rare, understandable cases, like if the mother's life is threatened, this is a victory for you. We got a victory in Texas. But that's not the main thing that I want to talk about. One of the reasons why I haven't been making videos in a long time is because, like, I've been way too active on Twitter. I was more active on Twitter. I haven't been active on Twitter in, like, literally 5 years, and I started getting back into it. And these like pro-choice people have been like absolutely freaking the fuck out over the Texas ban, and they've been comparing it to, oh, the Taliban are taking away women's rights in Afghanistan, but the Republicans are no better because they're taking away women's rights in Texas. And it's like, what kind of monsters are you? Like, to get this, like, no, you don't have a right to murder your fucking baby. You don't have, like, no, taking away a woman's right to murder a fucking kid is not the same as what the Taliban does to women in Afghanistan. Sorry, it's just not. But it got me thinking, like, pro-choice people, they implicitly believe that women have like an absolute moral right to bodily autonomy, and if they want to murder their child, then that's fine. And the pro-life movement is like rightfully against this, but what I've been thinking is it's not enough to just be anti-abortion. It's not enough to just be pro-life. I think that the pro-life movement needs to move towards like a more higher philosophical level, and we need to start questioning the idea of individual freedom and bodily autonomy to begin with. Because, like, it's not enough to just say, oh, murdering babies is wrong, and you shouldn't do it, and because murdering babies is wrong, it should be illegal. We need to start questioning the moral foundation that pro-choice people are coming from, which is individual liberty. We need to start questioning the idea that the idea of rights and of individual liberty to begin with, instead of just asserting, instead of just merely asserting that the life of the child outweighs the woman's right, quote unquote, right to choose. We need to start questioning the idea of liberty, and of, in particular, liberty when it comes to bodily autonomy to begin with. We need to start critiquing this sort of rights speak that you get from pro-choice people and from people like Dennis Prager, this sort of individual liberty speak. And I think that that's how the pro-life movement can sort of go meta and just say, no, not only do we believe that it is an absolute moral necessity that the baby lives, but we also don't think that we shouldn't even subscribe to the idea that individual liberty is important in the first place, that so-called rights, so-called women's rights, so-called right to bodily autonomy is important in the first place. I'm sick and tired of this fucking sort of moral framework that you hear from the pro-choice crowd and from like small government conservatives, like sort of Dennis Prager type people, of like, oh, freedom, oh, individual rights. It's like, no, you can't reduce morality to just, oh, I should be able to do whatever I want as long as I'm not like causing harm to anybody else. Although in this case it's actually worse, because like with an abortion you actually are causing harm to somebody else. But we need to start questioning this sort of retarded notion of, well, we need to respect liberty. It's like, no, we don't. We don't need to respect liberty. Fuck your liberty. Fuck your right to bodily autonomy. Fuck individual freedom. The collective, the community, your obligation to what I would consider your basic obligation to not murder your children is more important than individual freedom. So fuck your freedom. Like, that's the position that pro-life people need to adopt. It's not enough philosophically to just say, well, we think that the right to live outweighs the right to bodily autonomy. It's like, no, fuck your freedom. Preserving the life of the baby is more important. Fuck your freedom. Okay, I just really needed to get this off my chest. I'm so fucking sick and tired of pro-choice people on Twitter bitching about their freedom. I'm sick and tired of these sort of retarded comparisons and saying, oh, you don't care about human rights, you don't care about my right to bodily autonomy. And it's like, you know what, people on Twitter? You know what, pro-choice people on Twitter? You're right. I don't give a shit about your bodily autonomy. So fuck your freedom. Like I'm done with this, like, sort of libertarian ethic of, well, I should be able to do whatever I want with my body. It's like, nope. You're part of a larger community. So fuck your freedom. Okay, thanks for watching. I originally did not want to do the proper outro because I was just in such a bad mood because I was so pissed off by these pro-choice people on Twitter, but I'm just going to do the outro. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video or agreed with anything that I said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This is Wolf signing out.